Hey y'all. Okay, so today I'm doing get ready with me, more of a do my makeup with me, not really like a social makeup, but more of a experimental makeup, I guess. I'm just gonna add a little bit of sunscreen and then prime my face. For the sunscreen, I have the Beauty of Johnson one. It's almost empty. And by the way, if you are in the US, you cannot order this anymore, which really sucks. But anyways, you know, the Joseon dynasty was very popular. I feel like a lot of people know about it, besides the Beauty of Joseon skincare. But did you know that they had a lot of important people in there? Like, do you know Shin Suk-ju? Well, he was a very important man. Do you see his shoes? They are pristine white. They are clean. This man didn't set foot on the floor. They were like, that's how I know he was important. He was being carried. And even the fact that he had like a whole portrait for him, that already tells you who this man was. He was very close with the king of Joseon at that time, and I think he even became the prime minister, 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 because he like contributed a little to the writing system in Korean, which is pretty cool actually. And also you can see he's wearing like this badge of honor that's basically like a peacock and like flowers in nature in his clothing, because this represented a lot of like knowledge, wisdom at that time, and that's pretty cool. Ta-da! Okay, this is the face primed. We gotta perfect that skin because I have a lot of texture and stuff. But what's cool, that in a lot of cultures they do like skin modification or like just any kind of body modification to actually alter the state of their skin. Like, in many tribes in Africa and Melanesia, they do all this thing called scarification, where they basically like they get a permanent scar either on their face or like on any part of their body. And depending on the culture, it can mean, like high status. It can mean, hey, this is my age, hey, I belong to this tribe and stuff like that, which is pretty cool considering that, for example, in the US culture, you have this, oh, you cannot have any scar on your face because you're ugly. And in many cultures over there is like, this actually means you're pretty or you have a lot of knowledge. Because, like, for example, for the Gelede masks, well, they're actually helmet masks, you can see there's a representation of like the scarification on the face, which is pretty cool. And you can see, well, I don't know if you can really see, but these are old ladies, okay? Basically, they had old ladies to represent, all the knowledge they had to share. They are, like an important thing for the culture, because if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be in the culture. Basically, like how they get pregnant, they bring all these people to the world. And you can see it represented in there are snakes coming out of the helmet, which is pretty cool. I feel like even though a lot of people are scared of snakes, they're actually pretty cool in nature if you think about it. Because it's like they can change their skin, they become a new person, just the way women procreate. And basically we bring these people to the world, which I feel like we don't talk about a lot. But this is how you know that these ladies were somehow a high status, because they had the scars on their face. They are representing this procreation through the snakes. And I feel that's really cool. And in the Yoruba culture, they have this thing that's basically like a dance, like a presentation, where they are wearing these masks. And basically, they are doing like a dance to be like, oh, I'm grateful because of you, because of the women, so I'm gonna do a representation. And these are done by like young boys. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna say thanks to you. Think about like a Mother's Day festival or something like that, if we compare it to like a Western culture thing. Damn, that's cool. Okay, I'm pretty much done with the face. I'm just gonna do concealer now. So we're just gonna conceal the center of the face to, you know, emphasize the center of the face. I have a very wide face, so it's pretty hard to, you know, do a makeup that kinda it looks good on me. But I feel like that's more because I grew up thinking, you know, this is what's beautiful. Like, you were not beautiful if you didn't have like a small face, if you didn't have like, you know, just like pretty features, I guess. So I remember when I started doing makeup, please bear with me, it was like 2016, so you already know the deal. A lot of bronzer, a lot of stuff. Yeah. Ugh, I don't even want to remember that. But basically, how, you know, you just didn't fit in there. And it's funny because I remember one time somebody said, it's not that you're ugly, you were born in the wrong generation. You were born in the wrong year, because maybe in a different year you would have been pretty. Just around the world, we have this thing where, you know, you have to be very thin, or you have to be, like, you know, very pretty, if we would consider that. But at some point, that was not the case. Like, you need to have like full cheeks to be like considered pretty, youthful. And if you had like a very slim face, you were considered somehow sick. Because, like, do you know the legend in Japan? The Iwa? I believe it's Iwa, Oiwa. It's something like that. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. But basically, if you see any representation of this girl, she is very skinny. She has long hair, but it's like very thin. She has like this huge forehead because her hair is basically falling off. And even her skin is like kind of gray because she's supposed to be sick or something like that. Well, she's basically coming, you know, for revenge. She comes from this destruction, like, so it's really weird how you think about it and you're like, oh, how this was considered, you know, ugly at the time, but like right now maybe she was pretty. We never know. And I think that's awesome. Well, these eyebrows are not really given, but we're gonna make them work. Okay, we're just gonna do, you know, a lot of face setting because I have a very oily face. So yeah, we're gonna be looking matte. Okay, now that I added a little bit of color to my face, a little bit of blush, like I said before, I don't do bronzer anymore. I gave up on that. That doesn't work to my face. So now I'm gonna do eyeshadow. I want to do something very shimmery, so something maybe like golden like. This is not looking golden enough, so I'm gonna add something more like shiny, more like yellowy. Kinda, you know, like this little pendant right here. I think that's super cool, how it's like all made of gold. You know, like pretty much everything that was made back in what we know right now was South America. And you know how they had even this legend of El Dorado, which I think it's lame, but you can kind of get the idea of what was going on. They were tired of the Spaniards, and they were like, you just keep going, just try to find the city of gold that never existed in the first place. But anyways, but like I was saying, this pendant is really cool, how it's all made of gold. And this one has something that I was just telling you about with the Shin Suk-ju one, like how he had this badge with peacocks. Well, this pendant has, you know, like this kind of wingy stuff, which you wouldn't believe if I tell you, but those are actually represented more of a bird, or like a, I guess more of a bat. And I'm gonna tell you why the bat. Where do you find gold? In caves. Where do bats live? In a cave. So basically that makes sense. And also because the nose really has that shape from that nose, like kind of like a diamond shape. Well, and also I think it's pretty cool because, you know, bats are like the only mammal that can fly, and I feel like we We would be so happy if we could fly. I don't know about you, but I would love to fly. Should I do like a bad eyeliner? Oh my god, yes. I'm gonna do that. Okay, I did the best I could. You can see it's not perfect, but it's alright, okay? I feel like it would be better if I had more time for it, but I don't have all the time. You know who would have had all the time? This woman with a ceremonial dress, also known as the Smiling Ladies. They're done in a culture that you can find in what we call today Veracruz in Mexico, which is pretty cool the way you see them, because you will think, why would they have the time? Well, do you see the hair? They had enough time to already do their hair, which was a big deal back then, because it was like, if you have the time to do this updo, to put all this, you know, like headdress and stuff, you had the high status. You were a high status lady. And also like the roundness of their face, they have very full cheeks, which was a representation that they had access to meat. I think deer meat was what they could access to back then, and they even take the antlers of the deer to put on their hair, like, you know, their headpiece, because it was a representation of, you know what, we could hunt this deer, we can eat the meat. That already said a lot. And also the dress they're wearing is called a huipil. If you ever get a chance to wear a huipil, do it. It's very pretty. I will think, why would they put all this detail in a small figurine? Well, because the small figurine was supposed to go with you to the tomb. And you would say, why would they, you know, bury someone with that? Well, basically in the afterlife, you had this warning already saying, okay, this is how I used to live when I was living, and this is how I want to be received in the afterlife. So you better treat me like that, because I'm a high status, I know what I want, I can eat meat, I can do my hair. So yeah, well, that's all we could do. Okay, so this is the finished look. I know it doesn't look that good, but you know, I just wanted to have a little bit of an experimental moment, and also, you know, have a chat, which I love. Okay, just let me know if you want to see more videos like this, and well, see you next time if there's a next time. Bye bye.